Yo, what's going on, YouTube? If you're watching this on YouTube, we are streaming live, and it'll pop up here in a second, the little Twitch icon, but we're streaming here at Phantom2IC. This was recorded live. We're just going to give, I'm a massive, so just if you don't know me, and you're clicking this video, I am a big Kanye fan. I wrote a thesis on it and all that stuff. However, I'm realistic. I'm a realistic Kanye fan. I don't think every fucking album is a 10 out of 10 or some shit. I actually don't have a single Kanye album as perfect to me. I'm very hard on albums. I've only given like a couple of albums, actually 3 albums, like a perfect score to me. And 2 of those is the Kendrick albums, Good Kid, Mad City, and Butterfly. So as you can tell, I'm very hard on my music. But we're going to go into some of my thoughts on this. It's going to be a little more in-depth. It's not going to be a reaction because a lot of my friends and stuff like that here on Twitch did reactions already. I figured that's content people don't really want to see from me right now because so many people have done it. So let's go ahead and get into it right off the bat. I see Golier gave his opinions in chat on what his favorites are, and I kind of agree with a lot of those, but let's go into it. So, first song is Jail. Other than the Donda, chant, and that is what it is. But first song, Jail. I really like this song a lot. I'm really happy that the official version on the actual 20, I believe it's 22 songs on the standard edition of the album. I'm glad that the Jay-Z version made onto it. So I have been accustomed to that Jay-Z version. I've listened to the Listening Party 2 version of the album quite a few times. And it was one of my, as far as a cinematic experience, it was one of my favorites. So I really like Jail. I really like the hard-hitting bass in the background, the synth. So I really like that song. And this is first listen, by the way, so I got to give this a lot of time, and we'll see where it goes from here. Okay. The next song was God Breathed. It's commonly called God Breathed on this. This was a song that I'm still not super crazy about. A lot of people are on Twitter and whatever giving this one of their favorite Kanye songs. Shout out Watching the Throne. He said, the main guy who runs their Twitter account, Chris, he tweeted out this is a top 10 song for him. I don't really feel the same way. I feel that it is it's the outro is really good. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good song, but it's definitely not among the best songs in the album. But it's still I'm gonna listen to it all the time. Definitely not 10. I agree, Golier. I definitely agree. It's definitely not a top 10 Kanye song. The people who have said that, they're really into the cinematic stuff of Kanye, and they don't necessarily listen to it as just songs. So I get why they might say that, because the outro is crazy on there, and it kind of has that Yeezus vibe. So people who like Yeezus will really like that song. I like Yeezus, but this one just wasn't quite the same intensity as that for me. So thank you, Matt, calling me handsome. But that's my thoughts on God Breathed. And then we have, this is arguably my favorite song on the album, Off the Grid. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've heard this song, who's on it, Cardi, fucking Fabio Foreign, and Kanye. Kanye's verse on this, on the extended version that has been switched from Listening Party 2, is really, really good. He's rapping his ass off. There's a lot of lyrical analysis that I'll have to get into, and Off the Grid, off the bat, is probably the song I'll go back to the most on its own, because of Cardi had a pretty good feature, and then Fabio, I listened the LP 2 version, Listening Party 2 version, I listened to that because of Fabio's verse like all the fucking time. So I'm definitely gonna be listening to that Fabio verse. Fabio really fucking surprised me. I always thought he was kind of like not nearly as good as like Pop Smoke as far as like that drill sound, but he really showed like where he was different and his worth was on this song, and I think Kanye brought a lot out of him. So that's my thoughts on Off the Grid. And then the next one is the famous Hurricane. It was leaked a long time ago with Yandi. This version is a lot better. You got The Weeknd, Lil Baby, and I have come around to Lil Baby a lot recently, and he's had a really good run. Early in his career, I wasn't too crazy, but now like this verse, fucking the verse on Wants and Needs, and his collab album with Dirk, just all great music coming from him, and this is no exception. And I love The Weeknd. I love his feature here. There's not a whole lot to say about Hurricane that hasn't already been said, but that's probably in my top 5 as well. Just a really angelic performance from everybody on the song. Praise God. This is a song with Travis Scott and Baby Keem. I'm trying to replay it in my head. Praise God. This is like a good song. I'm big fans of Travis and Baby Keem. I think they did what they needed to do. I think they could have went harder. Probably one of my least favorite songs on here, but it is a good song, and I get why people would put this at the top. Because Baby Keem does do some really cool stuff with his vocals towards the end. Yo, what's good, Zach? Donda, Donda, Donda. He does a lot of cool stuff with his vocals at the back of the end of the track, so I can see that. But one of my least favorites, but still a really good song. And as you'll just see, I don't have a lot of criticisms over this album. And I'll kind of wrap it all up at the end. Jonah, I'm a big Lil Durk fan, and people in chat will, the people that are active in my community know that I've been a big Durk fan. I'm 22, so I have been following Durk since I was in high school. You did Next Fantano. No, I'm good. I'm just doing, it's track by track, but you know what I'm saying? Jonah, I really enjoyed Jonah, and I'm trying to think, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of the melody, but it doesn't matter. Durk killed his verse. It's a shoulder to lean on. Who's there when I need shoulder to lean on? That might be my favorite hook on the whole album, to be honest. That's just in the production that he did on the finished version of the album is the best version that I've heard so far, and I'm pretty sure Jonah was on all 3 listening parties, and this is the best version I heard. So it just kept getting better. It just shows that Kanye has a great camp, is telling him what to do and all that shit. Junior better. Okay, well, Junior's coming up close. Okay. I've been really... shout out to Jordan710. He's really put me on to Yachty lately. And Yachty had a fantastic verse on here. One of the best guest verses, in my opinion. However, the beat on here is one of my least favorites. That doesn't mean it's a bad beat. It's just kind of that thumping bass line. Boom, 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 boom. And I like it, but it's just so, when you take into context the rest of the album, it does seem a little bland. Just when you talk about like the whole aesthetic of the album, but it fits in really well at the same time. So it's hard to say. It's definitely one of those songs that you can take out of context of the album, and be really good as just a song. So I can respect that, but it does fit in as well. So I really like that song. Yachty did his thing, and I wasn't too impressed by the Kanye part on here, but overall, really good track here. And as like I just said, like there's not a whole lot of things I can say about this album that are just bad things. I couldn't say the same thing about Yay and Jesus is King, to be honest with you. And there's even some things I don't like about Life of Pablo, but like just talking about in recent years, you know what I'm saying? I'm a huge fan of Kids See Ghosts. that's like an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 record for me. But you know what I'm saying. So that's my thoughts on that song. Junior, easily the better Cardi feature. Fun song, definitely a party song, type of thing, like jump up and down type shit. I really like Junior. And it is what it is, it's like Cardi does his thing on the hook, 4-5 some is 4-5 some, like that's catchy as hell. I can't lie about that. It gets repetitive with Kanye and Cardi kind of doing the same thing.
Cut back, Mac.
Yo, Mac, thank you for the follow, bro. It does kind of get repetitive at points, but overall, it's like a great, like, out of context song as well, and it flows well with everything. Okay, Golir. But what's good, Drac, as well? I'm saying hi to people that's in chat and stuff like that. Okay, Believe What I Say. This was the song that I really enjoy, but it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit at all to me when I listen to the album, but it's a great song in that Lauryn Hill sample. And I thought it was interesting, just as like kind of a side note, Drake has used that doo-wop sample on Draft Day. And they saying you went to school. Okay, you guys, I'm not that old. That Lauryn Hill was fire. I definitely agree, Goliath. And I don't have a lot of bad things to say about it. I don't think it fits with the flow of the record based on how he had been constructing it. But I think he kind of threw this in there, and this is just a theory, as just like a little Drake, like, I'm better than you. Like, I can take this sample and be better than you. And this is a better song than Draft Day, even though I like Draft Day. They do totally different things, but I really, really like this song. The groove on here is incredible. Just that boom, don't let the shine your light on. I don't know the exact words, it's just been the first listen, but I really enjoy that song, and I've been waiting for it since I heard the little snippet on Twitter, like almost a year ago. So, yeah, okay. And then the next song is 24. Easily the best choir usage, along with Hurricane, which I forgot to mention as well. I love the choir on here. 24 hours. And it breaks up the monotony of the album. And it just sounds so grand in scope. And it fits right into his religious stuff. And I love it. I love it. I love the way he used the choir and all that. So that's my thoughts on 24. There's not a whole lot to say, to be honest. It's kind of a choir song, but it really just hits that groove. It hits that spot with the rest of the album. Remote Control is a song. I was not crazy about it at the beginning when I first heard it in the listening parties, but he really stepped up the production here, and just a good song overall. He really honed in on that production, made it different, and not much to say there, but Young Thug had a good feature as well. Just a good song. Moon. Man, this is Don Toliver. I love Don Toliver. Cardigan and all that, but he really shows like a kind of separate side of himself as well. Because Don is kind of known for the auto-tune heavy bangers, but he really showed off his soft side here, and I really love that. And it just makes you want to float, and that's just kind of all I can say about it, on this first listen. So yeah, Heaven or Hell, best bars on the album, best rapping on the album. Again, incredible use of the choir. And the just that thumping bass, that's one of the things about this album that I love, is just that bass in the background. It's just constantly hitting. You can just this is if I've ever heard gospel music and car music put together, this is this album, and it's just like bam, 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 and it just hits. Donda, the title track, originally had Pusha T on it. Now it has Ariana Grande. Not crazy about this song. This is probably one of the songs that I will skip the most. Just not a whole lot of skips on this album. And I'll listen to it, but I won't want to listen to it every time. It's just kind of... it just doesn't feel full to me. And I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just how I felt on the first listen. Keep My Spirit Alive. I love I believe it's Casey is the name of the singer. I love the Casey vocals here. Donda drop. Yes, sir, it did, Junior. Go check it out. Because Pusha isn't there. Okay, we'll see what Netrag has to say in a minute. Exactly. Netrag, I kind of feel the same way. It doesn't feel the same without Pusha on there. Keep My Spirit Alive. I love Casey's performance on here. And I like West Side Gun on here, actually. And I don't really like West Side Gun. And I know that's kind of a controversial take, but like, I can take him or leave him a lot of the time. Okay, and then we're moving on to... That's facts. It was a good song, but and I love the hook on there, and but it's just like when you talk about the whole album, it's one of the weaker tracks to me. But there's not a lot of weak shit on here, so it's like, okay, it's a weaker track, it's still incredible. So that's just how I feel about it. Jesus Lord, I like the shortened version still. I will still listen. I'll probably make a playlist again, and I'll probably make a playlist in my Spotify and just make the album and just insert Jesus is Lord 2 instead of Jesus Lord. I get why he cut it down because it was fucking 11 minutes, but I love the extra verses on there from Jadakiss, and I believe the other one was I think it was Styles P, if I remember correctly. And no, I agree with you. I get why people may not want to listen to an 11-minute version. The 8-minute version works just fine, but I'll substitute it in. No. Conway wasn't Conway on. No, Conway was on Keep My Spirit Alive. I'm pretty sure it was Styles P was one of the people that got cut off here. But I get why people don't want to listen to the whole thing, but it's fire. And there's a lot of analysis that is to be done with Kanye's verse on this thing. He talks like really from the heart, and that hook is just haunting. Jesus, like it just sticks with you. So that's a song that I just love a lot, and there's just a lot to unpack there, and I won't even attempt to try and do that on the first listen. But that's in my top 3, probably top 4, 5 of the album. New Again. I really like this song. It's fun. It kind of brings up the mood after Jesus Lord. Really fuck with this song. Make me new again. And I kind of disagree with what Nutrag is saying here, actually. I kind of like the sample. Come on. And then I kind of like that in there, to be honest, but it's fine without it. I don't need it. And it does clean things up. I just like kind of the erratic stuff sometimes. When it comes to Kanye, I kind of like when he's a little out of the box, does different things. But great song, uplifting. I like it. Now, okay, Television. Don't hate me for this. I'm gonna have to. Oh, so this is We Made It. Okay. I clicked on, I was typing out, and I was like, I don't want to listen to it again. I didn't realize what Television was. But that's We Made It. It's a Pop Smoke song. It is what it is. It was on another Pop Smoke song. Yes, there you go. Nutrag. Exactly. I don't like that they like cut out parts of it and like cut the beat that it was on. I wish it was just over that beat, but I get it. He's gone. You can't do anything about that. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. Also, shout out to Lil Yachty and the way they handled that on OK OK with the RIP to Juice line. Kind of forgot about that, but I wanted to mention that. And how they dropped the beat out. That was dope. But this is what it is. This is one of the most underrated songs, Lord I Need You. I really love the singing from Kanye on this track. Just beautiful from the heart stuff. And you can tell, like, after watching Listening Party 3 and all that, you can just tell that he really wants Kim back in his life. And I respect that a lot. And I like what he did with this album, or with this song, I mean. And exactly, wrap your arms around me with your mercy. Like, sheesh, that just hits me. I'm done with doing things my way. I personally, myself, I do believe in God. I'm a Christian. I won't get into like all that, but that song really just hits me in the right spot. I love that, and I love that song. So that kind of is what it is as well. It's just a nice gospel little soul influenced song and it's like an ode to like his wife. I can't hate on that. It's amazing. I really like that song. And Pure Souls, I'm a big Roddy Ricch guy as well. Please excuse me for being antisocial. I can't speak, apparently. That was like my favorite song of, or not my favorite song, my favorite album of like 2019. Even though it came out in December, I heard it and I said, this is the best thing of the year. Other than, like that and Igor were like my two. But that, as far as time has gone on, that Roddy album has just been amazing. Anyways, this is one of Roddy's best performances ever, from I've heard, and it's like up there with like Die Young, Ballin', like even like The Box. I really believe that like this performance is just iconic, and it's gonna live like forever, and like Roddy's career and Kanye's career as just like an essential song. And the extended outro that we got, like Netrag is talking about, Shanessa, I could leave it, but I also see the artistic merit in that, in having those extended outros that Kanye is known for. I like it, but I might skip that part, when I get to it in the album, but it's good. It's really, really good. That's probably in my top 3. Come to Life was a song that I'm gonna click here again because this was a newer song and I haven't heard it as many times. But yeah. Okay, so me listening to that again, I was super surprised by how much I love that song, and it's just it's another part of his story about him and Kim, and I yeah, exactly, Golier. That shit, that hard, that hits really hard. And there's a lot of lyrical analysis to be done there and more listens that I have to have, but it's a great, like, I think they call it like the penultimate, like the second last song. Great song. And then it flows perfectly into No Child Left Behind. No Child Left Behind, also known as He's Done Miracles on Me. Perfect closer. I couldn't have picked any other song, and all the renditions that he's done, of the album, this has to be at the end. It's a perfect closer. And that's what I have to say about Donda, dude. It's like, I can't say anything bad about it. It's, to me, after listening to it, I think it's the best thing he's done since Dark Twisted Fantasy. It has a whole narrative that I will dive in, that I will look into, and like do all this stuff with Donda, and I will love it. I wrote my thesis over the career arc of Kanye and the hero's journey. and like how that all fits together. And obviously, I would have never wrote that if I didn't have to do a thesis about it. But it's something I'm just very interested in. He's just a genius, and I don't know any other way to say it. And if I have to give this album a rating right now, and now keep in mind, I've given in my personal opinion, Kanye doesn't have a perfect record. People say Dark Twisted Fantasy is a perfect record. I don't really like Blame Game, and I'm not really crazy about Lost in the World either, and I know a lot of people don't like that opinion, but that's just what it is for me. So it's like a 9 out of 10 for me. This, to me, as of right now, I'm going to give it like an 8.5. It's like, there's not a lot of bad things to say about it. I don't think there's a lot of things I would have changed. There's a couple things that maybe could have been elevated. I think Kanye's performances could have been elevated a little bit more. But the features, everybody brought their A game. The arc of the album is great, and the cool thing about this album is you can rearrange it kind of how you want, and that you can make several different like stories about like, oh, you know, like trying to help people, trying to get back with Kim, apologizing to Kim. And even the deleted song off of it, Never Abandon Your Family, that was kept off the album, that changes everything. Like, he's losing his family. There's just so much dynamicness in this record. And I think my rating could get boosted up as time goes along. To me, after listening to this is on the same level as Graduation. And just for full clarity, my rankings of Kanye's albums would be College Dropout and Dark Twisted Fantasy. They switch back and forth for me. Most of the time, if people ask me, I say College Dropout, but I also love Dark Twisted Fantasy. And then I have Graduation and Donda on this similar playing field of like an 8.5 to a 9 range. And Dark Twisted Fantasy is like a 9 to a 9.5, as well as College Dropout. And then I got like Yeezus at like an 8 to like a 7.5. So those are like my top 5. So that's just how you see that I kind of have a big range of Kanye shit that I like. And that's my thoughts on it. Good band, but no, I don't chum. But there's a lot of replay value on this album. I'm gonna be listening to it a lot, and it's definitely gonna live a lot longer in my rotation than anything he's put out in the last 8 years. To be honest, 8 years to 10 years. Like, I like genuinely think like this is his best work since Dark Twisted Fantasy. Definitely, like, you can't say it's not his best work since at least Life of Pablo. So that's what it is. Again, shout out to chat here. We had people come in more as long because I started this review, kind of super early when I started streaming. So shout out everybody who's come in, talked. If you're watching on YouTube, check out my Twitch. It's right up there right now. Same link. It's also going to be in the description. I'll talk to you guys later. And look out for a Drake review soon. Alright, see y'all.